Do 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 do. Chapter 1. Higurashi when they cry. This is chapter 2. Okay. AD 1982. Did the year change? The fifth year of the series of, mysterious Destiny Mizawa, also known as Oshiri-sama's curse. 1 year prior to Kichimobata's transfer. Oh, so I was right. Okay then. I didn't hear a wake-up chime. I'm not at school anymore. My brain is half asleep, but I'm aware of that. How far am I from the Nagashi then? I don't know. Am I going to skip to the next year then? Maybe. Waking up at the same time as a chime would go off at school doesn't feel good. I can't go back to sleep after this. Still, I'm not going to live as a tortoise. I'm not going to live a torturous school life anymore. Not tortoise. I can make today either happy or boring. It's up to me. Yeah, that's real positive. I feel like I'm alive for the first time in a while. I didn't have any other clothes, so I was still wearing the school track uniform. It's supposed to have been designed by some famous Italian person, but it just looks plain to me. It really didn't feel great to still be in the clothes from that school. I want to enjoy my freedom as soon as possible. I especially don't want to walk around outside wearing it. I should have Keisei bring me some new clothes later. And I should think of redecorating this room. After all, this is going to be my castle from now on. This is a room in a gorgeous apartment building in the suburbs of Akinomiya. The property is a retailer in my dad's Kalo agreement, obtained after foreclosure due to some sort of dispute. Most of the residents moved out during that, so while there are plenty of rooms, it's a lonely complex that feels devoid of people. Plus, with the expectations of the manager and a scant or two others, all the residences are shady-looking people connected to my dad. It probably won't be much longer before the virtuous residents are driven out. The apartment I'm living in used to be the room they used for viewings, so it looks like a room in a business hotel. It's fully furnished but lacking in daily necessities. I'll buy those things over time though. It's better that way anyway. It'll make it feel more like my own room. I nodded to myself. It might look stupid, but it helps psych me up. At the school there was a TV only in the common room. We weren't allowed to watch any cable channels, as I have to all the channels as a form of occupation. It was early in the morning, so nothing interesting was on. But I enjoyed it anyway, commercials are fun to watch. Keisei dropped by with lunch right when I started to feel hungry. Good morning, Shion-san. Did you sleep well last night? Sleeping on the couch was a little bit too uncomfortable. As a Japanese person, I wanted to sleep on a futon on the floor. Ah, this pickled radish is good. That's good to hear. Please let me know what you need later on. I'll try to get as much as I can. Thanks. Oh, but you don't need to worry so much about me. I chose this life for myself after all. And your wallet wouldn't last if I started extorting you, right? I have to be serious about my plan. I can't let myself take advantage of Keisei's wallet forever. I think I'm going to start a part-time job. I have to earn my own living. This is the life I chose, so naturally I have to take care of it myself. That's reassuring to hear, but are you sure? If you go outside, eventually someone in the family will discover you. I give that a little thought, which is why I'll need Mion's help. Keisei, would you mind calling the main house for me? When Mion answers, pass me the receiver. Oh well, whatever you say. What could be your plan? Keisei dialed the number. It's funny to me that we're calling the main house, even though that's the place I most want to avoid at the moment. Hello? Good morning. Is this Mion-san? It's been a while, this is Keisei. Yes, good morning. Could you hold for a moment? I'm letting someone else on the phone. I take the headset. Hello? Can you tell who it is? That voice. But that can't be true. She's supposed to be confined to St. Lucia's. You can't be her. Yeah, they forbid outside calls at the academy. But you're talking to me right now. You and my dim-witted older sister should understand what that means. Did you sneak out of the school? How? That's not important. I really missed you, sis. Yeah. Shion, there, that was as far as I could take it, and Mion had hit her limit too. We both burst into laughter, unable to keep up our act. It's been a while since we laughed out loud with each other like this. It's been forever, Shion. Seriously, what's happened to you? There's not much to it. I haven't lied or anything. Wait, then you really ran away? Oh, great job. The security wasn't tight enough to keep me locked up in there. Maybe the school should be grateful you escaped quietly. If you were serious, it'd be easy for you to blow up the entire building to make you escape. Well, I couldn't have done that, but I might have set it on fire. Casey smiled as in amusement, his face a blend of amusement and exasperation. Is it okay to talk to you now? It's alright. My granny's out for a lesson. She's coming home later in the evening. That's good. But we should get together and talk soon. Just over the phone for today though. Okay. Did anyone report my escape to our grandmother? Nope. We've heard nothing. I passed along all the phone calls and guests for the main house now, so no news reaches Granny without going through me. I'm sure she doesn't know. Wow. That's awesome. You really sound like the next leader of the Shinozaki family. You know I don't like that. You should have taken my place. You're the one with the demon, aren't you? Well, keep giving it your all. I'll be rooting for you from the shadows. Anyway, that's not important now. You sound so indifferent. Well, that's okay, I guess. If you hear anything about me, give Casey a call, okay? I would like to give you my number here, but I'll keep it a secret for the time being. Sorry. Alright. If Granny hears you've at the school, there'll be all kinds of trouble. Be on the lookout for now, and I'll let Casey know if something happens. Thanks. I also have a favor to ask. I figured you would. Oh, money's running out money's out of the question, okay? I never thought I could pester you for money. I just wanted to ask you for a little help with my part-time job. I see. So that's it then. What exactly do you need? We can communicate fast in a situation like this. We don't have to get into the details because we know what's on each other's minds. Uncle Yoshiro's on my side, isn't he? I'm gonna try and see if I can get a part-time job at one of the businesses he owns. Then I'll call you when I know my shift. So I just have to disappear while you're working, right? That's a little taxing. What are you saying, sis? Are you turning down your only sister's request? Seriously? Alright, I'll do it. I wouldn't want to see how you'd retaliate if I turned you down. Thanks. I'll buy you a cake from Shilang Benters. I'll throw in a ton of tarts too. Shian. Shilang Berta goes /4. Huh? Is that so? Yeah, the owner had a stroke. He reopened the store once, but he got sick again, so you had to shut it down. I see. That's a shame. I won't be able to eat their Mount Blanc cakes to my heart's content anymore. I was disappointed that my favorite cake shop had closed down, but most of that this town had changed without my knowing while I was gone. It was kind of regrettable. Does that mean I'm gonna work at Angel Mort? So, was Shion already there for a year? Or am I gonna work at a different place? Are there any other changes I don't know about? Yeah, there are some. I'll tell you when we meet up next time. Thanks. I'll tell you about my school life. Let's set a date. I'll call you. Alright. I'll see you then. Neon? What is it? How are you? I'm fine. I'm glad to hear that. I'm hanging up now. Okay. I'll see ya. It's really been a while since I last talked to her. I put down the phone and heaved a sigh as Keisei brought in some tea. So how did it go? Do you remember Uncle Yoshiro, who was in favors of me staying? I'll talk to him about my escape and ask him if he can hire me to work at one of his stores. Are you sure? Some other relatives might find out. That's why I asked Sis for a favor. I'll contact her when my shift is set, and she'll disappear while I'm working. Do you get the picture? Keisei looked puzzled. It's not really that difficult to grasp. It's simple. If somebody finds me at work, I'll tell them that I'm Mion. Do you get it now? No people wouldn't buy this kind of plan, but Keisei knows too well how easy it is for me and my sister to change places. That's, odious. Or skewed, I should say. I'm impressed. Is that a compliment, Casey? Casey looked amazed. Did he now? I think your style will affect him too, considering the rules of my dad's profession. He won't be able to get away with a mere apology. That's why he doesn't want me to do anything too risky. I think I have to make it up for him since he helped me escape even knowing that risk. Right, no problems. If I find somebody talking bad about you, I'll beat them up. Thank you so much. I know I could rely on you, Uncle Yoshiro. Uncle Yoshiro pounded his chest with his fist after offering me his assurance. He seemed glad I turned to him first. I'll be happy to help since I'm so impressed that you're trying to support yourself. If you were here for money, I'll turn you into your grandmother right away. What? You're scaring me, Uncle. I knew he was reliable. He understood my situation straight away and promised to help. Manager, here's a shift chart. I'll put it here. One of the store clerks brought our work schedule. There are many things I'm familiar with written on it. So, how can you work? How much can you work? That depends on our respective schedules. Hope I can get in when I want to. Hey, that sounds a little irresponsible, but I know you're in a difficult situation. Depending on me and for work, our schedules have to match. Of course, Uncle Yoshiro understood that, but I also knew he couldn't afford a selfish part-timer who only works when she wants to. In the end, he decided to hire me as an office helper, not an official worker. As a temp, I wouldn't have a work schedule. My uncle also decided to pay me out of his own pocket. Was it supposed to be paying out of your own pocket and from the business expenses? I don't know. Is it that he doesn't have to pay you on a set basis? It's fine as long as I can make enough to support myself. Sure. I expect you to get what I'm paying for, okay? And don't call me uncle in the office either. Alright, manager. Thanks for hiring me. Good, you get it. Once all the business talk was over, my uncle hounded me with all kinds of questions. He asked me things like, what was it like in a prestigious girls' boarding school? And so on. Apparently there were all kinds of rooms going around where the St. Lucia Academy I was confined to, and everyone was curious about it. I added a few embellishments of my own as I explained how an ordinary life at that school was. My uncle looked extremely delighted to hear all the details about life in a secret garden for girls, horny bastard. Once my uncle was satisfied, it was my turn to ask all kinds of questions. I wondered if anything peculiar had happened while I was gone. I won't be able to act like me unless I can fill in the gaps of information left in the past 2 years. There haven't been any big changes, it's been 2 years, okay? It's been quiet since the end of the dam conflict. I went to the academy only a bit after they froze the project. There was still some tension then. 2 years? So this is the 5th year, which means you were here since the 3rd one? That means you already know about the curse. Even after they shut down construction, things were still tense because the project wasn't entirely cancelled. But the unegotiated Guardians disbanded about a year later. There was a big ceremony held at the shrine. That's when the dam conflict officially ended. That's right after I was imprisoned. Is everybody stacking now? The conflict is over? Wahahaha. I guess you had fun playing a war back then during the dam protest, didn't you? That's when you were just after you. So it ended just after you were confined. So it was more than 2 years then. Try to imagine how much suffering the adults went through every time they had to pick up their kids from the police station. But I can't deny that. It was a little festival for us. Uncle Yoshiro seemed exasperated at how differently kids and adults treated the conflict. Oh yeah, there was that dismemberment murder, wasn't there? The one where that fucking jerk of a construction manager got split into pieces. They still haven't put the culprit behind that, have they? Did they finally catch him? Come to think of it, I don't think they've caught him now. It happened on the night I watched Higurashi, didn't it? I remember everyone making a fuss about him. Orishida-sama's curse. That was pretty scary for us kids. Yeah, Orishida-sama's curse. Whoa, that happened the year after too. That's right. That was scary too, wasn't it? Who was it again? The guy who supported the dam? Died in an accident, right? Hojo, wasn't it? And it happened on the day of watching Higurashi once again. Everyone went crazy thinking it had to be a curse. That was horrifying, definitely. The construction manager that everyone hated was killed and dismembered on the night of watching Higurashi festival. That incident on its own was more than intense enough for us kids. The worst part of his body was never found, which made it almost like a ghost story amongst us. We seriously believe that the severed right arm was roaming in search of the body it belonged to. It didn't take long for the rumor of Orishida-sama's curse to become a topic of discussion among cult researchers and the like. Considering the circumstantial factors, even though the rumors faded after about a year. Why? After the dam project was officially frozen, we held Higurashi purely as a festival. would have been about a year, but doesn't it occur every single year? So, wouldn't they get reignited? But the curse struck again. The victim was a pro-dam activist who lived in Mizawa by the name of Hojo. He and his wife were on a trip when they fell from a cliff to their deaths. It was considered an accident. The ending was Rika's parents was in the third year, okay? But technically, police were still searching for the wife's body. If I remember right, they never did find it, did they? Once again, the man most worthy of Orishida-sama's curse fell victim on the night of the Watanagashi festival. So the fuss over of Orishida-sama's curse rose up again. Until then, Orishida-sama wasn't considered very important. At least in the world of us kids, it was just the name of the object of worship in the shrine, nothing more than that. I seen boys peeping on the archway, and I once stuck my hand into the offertory box. The existence of a god didn't matter much to us, but after 2 consecutive occurrences, the kids no longer doubted the existence of a curse. We were all shaken in fear of Orishida-sama. Everyone suddenly became interested in the old stories about him too. We quietly listened to the musty old stories the elders had to tell, and we started to genuinely believe the tales of Orishida-sama's miracles, which many of us would have laughed away before. Orishida-sama's rules were awfully simple and clear. Enemies treading into Himizawa will be cursed. Villagers leaving the village will be cursed. So is that confirmed now? That is a rule? What defined the village was terribly vague. Were we allowed to leave Himizawa village? Was going to Akimiya still safe? Was a single step enough to be out? Was a 3-day, 2-night hot spring trip still safe? We kids tried to draw a line. It was decided in the end that if you had a house in Himizawa or Akimiya, you were safe. And it was okay to go on trips if you had a house in either area. I know it's weird, but those rules were made up by kids after all. According to those rules, I would be cursed since I lived at a boarding school in such a remote area. I couldn't say it out loud because I felt embarrassed, but in fact I was a little scared of the curse. Yeah, it happened again the year after. It sure is scary when it happened 2 years in a row. I still can't believe in Orishida-sama's power. Fianchan, what are you saying? Don't you know? No? About what? Oh right, you went to that school before it happened. That's why you don't know. Okuya should have grimaced as if he said too much. As though he'd mentioned something I shouldn't know about. So you said 2 years, so was I taken just after the second thingy? Because I would know about that. And I'm guessing I'm before the fourth one. So it's actually slightly less than 2 years. Uncle Yoshua Grimace has she'd mentioned something that I shouldn't know about. What is it? You can't leave me hanging like that. Well, I think you're mature enough now. Hey, if you think my little body looks undeveloped, you should see an eye doctor. Either that or you're a pedo. Hmm. Okay. Well, that statement doesn't make much sense. I'll talk. It happened again the year after that. What happened? What are you talking about? Tick. When I was very little, I always had this tick before I had heard something bad. It was like a gnome who lived into my head, giving me a warning. Like he was poking me with a small needle. When I felt this tick before my parents called me, they'd always either chide me or tell me something bad. So I used to run away when I felt it, but my senses seemed to have grown dull over the years. Even though my gnome poked at me, I just sat there. It happened again the year after the death of the Hojos. Last year, in other words. Did it? Happen on the day of Watanagashi again? 3 years in a row? That's right. You know there's a shrine in Himizawa? The Furudu shrine? The priest suddenly died on the night of the festival. They said that the cause of death was an unknown illness, and the same night his wife threw herself into the swamp. There was a big uproar. The mayor even had to hold an emergency meeting. Oh, Higurashi when they cry. Alright. Ah. I wonder if I'm gonna die at the end of this chapter. Uh, I don't think the bit about the illness is true, but his death was very sudden. The priest was busy preparing for the festival, and he'd gotten sick around the time. So I guess he died of a heart attack or something. But it's just crazy that somebody died in the day of watching Gashi again. It's the third time in a row. It's unbelievable so many people have died the exact same day. The the coroner didn't find anything unusual about the cause of death, so nobody suspected that anything was wrong. But you're right that the whole situation is abnormal. One of the people who were likely to be cursed died on the day of the festival. There must be something behind this. Whether it's conspiracy or curse, there has to be. Decided to meet up with Mion at the library near the Akinomiya train station. It's not that I don't trust Mion, but I don't want to let her know where I live. Not many people use this library, so I won't see anyone from Himizawa here. It's very convenient for meeting someone in secret. After we discussed my life plan and work schedule, we do small talk. I've always been away. I've been away from the town for years. Things have changed. I asked Mion about those changes in detail in order to fill in the gaps. While talking about various things, I brought up what Uncle Yoshida had told me about Yoshida-sama's curse. Even before I left town, the curse had only struck twice. The dismemberment murder on the first year left quite an impact. The year after, the pro-dam activist couple fell off the cliff on the day the villagers were enjoying their first Higurashi festival since the dam project was indefinitely frozen. This one also left quite the impact. I guess it was more important too, because like the first one you were like, oh, just that guy died, who cares? And this is more like someone in the village died. The evil construction site manager was punished, and the next year the traitors to the village met the same fate. If it had happened only once, people would have concluded that it was just a bizarre coincidence. When it happened 2 years in a row, people were far more likely to believe it was a curse. I know up to that part, and after I left town, it struck again. The curse struck again for the third time. People talked about the curse more intensely than before, both in Mizawa and Akinomiya. I had to rethink this about the curse. Yoshida-sama's curse had drastically drained credibility while I was away. It was still unclear with the first two incidences, but after it continued for 3 years straight, people's doubts changed to convictions. Even though the priest who died on the third year wasn't the village of an enemy, wasn't an enemy of the villagers, the fact that the people in Himizawa didn't care for him much added even more credibility to the idea. Wasn't the priest hated by a few, especially by the committee members? Yeah, they criticized him for being a fence sitter. Towards the end of the dam project, the protesters were all taking aggressive stances, so they didn't like how soft he was being. The priest had looked strict and scary. The way he spoke was always so formal. In reality, he was very warm and reserved. Maybe it was because he was a son-in-law having married into his family. I'm sure the priest and his personality were the perfect fit for managing the shrine that was used for summer festivals and village meetings. But that gathering spot-style atmosphere of the shrine changed completely when the dam war broke out, and it became the headquarters for the Higurashi Guardians. Isn't it Higurashi Defense Alliance? Prior to the dam project protest, hardly anyone worshipped Yoshida-sama. Of course, the devout elders paid worship to him, but the average person treated our god like how you would treat fortune telling. Once the dam protests began, Yoshida-sama was suddenly hauled out as a symbol of the village's resistance. Tracing the Yoshida-sama fate back to its roots was an exclusive elitist fate that believed its members were descendants from a holy ancestor different from the masses at the foot of the mountain, and that those tainted masses should never come near the village. Of course, such self-centered ideology wasn't accepted anymore in the peaceful post-war Japan, so this doctrine was abandoned over time. Still, the idea remained, and they shrugged it back up to fan the flames of nationalism and united the town against the dam project. The revival of those ideas, things only grew more radical by the day. Yes, I remember. It didn't take very long for Higurashi Guardians to become aggressive. After that, we were in a state of war, 100 million burning as one, killed the white savages, want naught but victory. Adolescent kids were gnawing at the bit avid to repel the foreign invaders. Describing it like that made it sound like an awful, like a reminder of the dark times of wartime Japan. But like I said before, for us kids it felt less like a war and more like a village-wide festival. Yet, despite calling it a festival, the deserters were treated coldly. Their heartlessness lived up to the expression wartime regime. The Hoja couple voiced their acceptance of the dam project in the mind of the atmosphere. The midset of that atmosphere were truly brave. Then, on the second year of the curse, they died in an accident. And everyone believed it was Yoshida-sama's curse without question, so they were branded traitors and enemies of the village. The Hojo couple faced worse than just being ostracized as traitors. Everyone gave them the cold shoulder and talked behind their backs. The only one who didn't treat them badly was the priest. While the priest never objected to the anti-dam movement, he also never objected to the Hojo's couple's adversary for accepting the government's eviction and restitution to rebuild new lives. Those unforgivable Hojos became a slogan as the three families, especially the Shinozakis, united the village by turning them into scapegoats. So they must have found it very shameful to have a fellow member of the three families approve of that, when it was the priest of the shrine that had become a symbol for the dam protesters. A central figure in Hibazawa, the three families, were the backbones of the Oniga-Ushi Guardian, so the difference of opinion was undesirable, and the priest was never accused of anything, but secretly people whispered that he was a heretic that was unfit to serve as Orishida-sama's priest, that Orishida-sama's curse would soon strike him down, along with other rumors. Don't you think that the priest was more mature than those around him? He was a pretty cool, managing to keep his head and remain neutral while everyone around him grew fervent. I thought Mion would share my opinion when I chimed back in, so when Mion gave me a full smile and didn't agree with me, I was taken by surprise. If he was really mature, I think he would have cooperated with the others. He should have appeased them. He wasn't just the head priest, he was also the head of the Furudu family. There was a time when all of Mizawa needed to be united, so having one of the families who are supposed to serve as an example disturb that harmony was, I don't know if I would call that mature. It's hard for me to tell. I was taken aback. I barely managed to say the following. Even though we're identical twins, we still had our own unique identities. Even now and then our opinions differed, but usually only over trivial matters. We never had a difference of opinion this big. It wasn't an enjoyable feeling I decided to probe some more about. I don't really like that word you used, appease. What are you trying to say? Are you saying the priest should have thought that the village as a whole and kept his opinions a secret? Meaning people shouldn't assert the South before the whole? I'm not going that far, it's just, I thought as a member of the three families you should have acted more carefully, that's what I meant. Mion, I faltered a bit as my tone grew more like a cross-examination. I realized I was speaking a bit too harshly. What Mion expressed was probably the more mature opinion on our scale. When everyone needs to work together to stand up to a vast enemy like the government, people should refrain from actions that would destabilize that alliance. Writing it out and reading it now, I can understand that, but I wasn't mature enough to agree to such a totalitarian idea. Maybe it wasn't me at all. It was Mion who made that mature judgment. We've been separated for over a year. I've been away from town, and in the meantime Mion had been training to take over the hardships of the Shinozaki family. She'd been treated as such even before I was confined to that institution. She sat next to the Hagen ceremonies and the meetings. She took place in when the hag was absent. And that was just it. We were never that different. Mion had become very like a successor since I'd begun. You sound like a grown-up now. She seemed to get what I was implying. Am I thinking like Granny now? That's good. You're the successor. You shouldn't think like the rest. You'll definitely learn the art of ruling. I never learned anything like that. I'm just trying to act like her. You can do it easy too. I don't want to. It's your role. Well, don't try too hard or you'll tire yourself out. I didn't mean to be cold, but you don't seem to take it that way. You smiled as if trying to pacify me. I smiled back gently back to her. Sis, I mean Mion. What is it? The separation has always been tough. Our names, the place we live, and our bodies. Our bodies? What? Mion looked down with a serious face, but then looked right back up. Maybe you think I'm jealous of that, but I'm not. We used to have some disagreements, but they were always small and forgettable. You don't have to feel sorry for anything. Up until birth, we were perfectly equal. Right after birth, we were separated by the grown-ups' priorities. I used to get mad about it when I was little, but there's no denying that. But we don't have to start a disagreement over it. Mion seems to understand what I'm trying to say. We each have our own characteristics even though we're identical twins. Only we know the differences. We're also dependent on each other because of them. Mion seems to be more dependent. She always worries about me. If somebody gives her a cookie, she would divide it into two and give one half to me. If somebody gives her candy, she would wait until I said it was okay to eat it. In the country I was cold. I don't care about others if I'm satisfied. I put the candy in my mouth right away. I have to emphasize that I don't hate her, and I'm well aware that she loves me. But we both know that. Mian must have been hesitating to put the candy of the successor in her mouth. I was waiting to see if I was okay with it. Do your best, Mian. I'll do my best as Shion too. I tapped her forehead with my fist lightly. Mian put her forehead against my fist as if trying to feel the warmth. She's Mian and I'm Shion. She's the successor to the Shinazaki family and I'm just a vagabond. This isn't a distinction but rather our individuality. We shouldn't worry too much about the other anymore. We should feel relaxed knowing us who we are with our own characteristics. I don't have to say any of that out loud. We can communicate by touch just like this. Okay. Thanks, Shion. No worries. Let's talk to each other whenever we want. Like we've always been. That'll never change, okay? Okay. Okay. Mian kept nodding with her forehead against my fist. I'm outside. I said goodbye to Mian before it turned to evening. We had just talked about the things that happened during my time away and I enjoyed having that chat with your sisters very much. We were able to dissolve our unsettled emotions. We didn't, used to do that. Maybe it's because we hadn't seen each other, for over a year. Phew. It was the afternoon. My heart felt lighter now. I stretched out and looked up at the sky. The sky was clear, blue and far away. No matter how tall I grow, I'll never be able to touch the sky. I'm Shion Shinazaki, the girl who escaped from the life she was forced to live. No one will praise me for what I did and for what I'm going to do, but this is what I chose. Ha! I can think maturely too. I'll psych myself up. I should go shopping for dinner. Though I have Casey's help, I need some saved money. I love junk food, but it's cheaper to cook. Ironically, the coloring classes for that evil school will come in handy. Why not go to this shopping district in Ishiki? If I'm going there, then I need to take the other street. The cool breeze in the afternoon felt nice on my skin. Oh, I'm already back, I'm guessing. Casey came to the door while I was putting stuff I put into the fridge. Oh, wait a sec, I'm coming. Did you go grocery shopping? You must be tired. I don't get tired from grocery shopping. Do you want dinner? I've got enough for you too. Is that alright? If you say so, I'll be happy to. Casey looked curious about what I would cook. You don't look like you believe in my cooking skills. You'll pay for that later. Are you putting these in the refrigerator? I'll do it. Oh, thanks. Is this amount of rice okay for two? Here I go. Casey skillfully packed food in the fridge while glancing at each item in turn. He noticed something. Shion-san, do you still hate canned food? I haven't bought any. That was of course on purpose. It must be hard to avoid. I know it's illogical. Maybe I could eat it if someone forced me to. Is it because of the story of the canned meat? No, on second thought, I definitely couldn't. I felt really sorry. I know I was out of line then. Please forget about that story. Ah, shut it. I shouldn't hang around in the kitchen. Go watch TV or something. But it was because of the story. I was right. Casey chuckled and left. I know this sounds stupid, but I hate canned food. If somebody told me there was canned food in a meal, I would just throw it up. I'd started with a silly thing. Casey told me a horror story when I was little. You know, one of those urban legends about meat made from unknown source. I like those rumors about how there's a worm meat mixed in burger patties with dog meat and beef bowls. Casey had one time in one of those stories because of how scared I got. I had fun, but I obviously didn't. I even started to cry in the canned food section of a supermarket. That's how much I hated it. I don't freak out like that anymore, but I still don't like canned food. Since I don't like it, I don't force myself, and I now live my life naturally avoiding canned food. One of the big differences between us twins is that Mian doesn't have that issue. Casey feels responsible for this, but he can't rid me of that fear. So a flaw like this is actually a good thing, otherwise I'd be too perfect. Casey set the table, would you? It smells good. Thank you for doing this. If this isn't enough food, you can go to a beef bowl place later or something. And don't turn off the TV. I hate having dinner in silence. I wonder what the notes are going to be after this. Like, nothing much has really happened, so thank you for the meal. So, what is it, Casey? You came here for something, didn't you? I handed him a cup of tea. I could wait until dinner was over, but I wanted to get to the point quick. I thought I should wait until we finished, but would you mind if I talked while eating? It's been bugging me since you got here. It'd be much easier for me to eat if you started talking now. You received a phone call from the school today. Today? Haha, that's late. Sounds like they didn't want to make it public. Haha, so what happened? Um, Akane-san took the phone. She said she was going to tell your father when the time was right. Akane-san, Akane-san is my mom. That's what Akase calls her, as he's known her since before her marriage. So, what did she say? I was lucky she answered the phone. She's Since she's relatively on my side. Other than calling you a brat, she didn't seem surprised by this outcome. I see. Well, she hasn't told Dad yet. She's probably waiting for the right moment. I think she's going to in a couple of days. Dad's on the hag side, so he'll definitely talk to her if he hears about it. Then she'll have her men bring me to her, and depending on my explanation, maybe offer a thing or two. Scary. I wish you could laugh it off, but please remember you're not the only one who. Ouch. You're eating too fast. I cooked too much rice and lentil soup, so you'll have to have another round. At least 3 helpings, alright? A few days later, Mian told me that the hag had heard about my escape. So, how did she take it? She was furious. She said that if you were in Akinomiya, she would get you right away. Scary. And is Dad doing anything? The Holder family council is soon to see if any other family members are hiding you. It doesn't look like she'll have the greenhorn search for you all over town, though. Calling a family council means that things will remain in the hag's hands alone. She won't search the town for me. It's like she's unofficially approving my presence. Of course, I'll get caught immediately if they find me in a large public place. Seems like Mom did a lot to help me. I can tell she's being supportive. It's a long story, but my mom is sort of an outlaw, even though she's of the Shinozaki bloodline. A long time ago, she had a huge fight with the hag because she hated the family's rules and traditions. She was even excommunicated. My mom was supposed to be the successor, but she was deprived of that title and just took her place instead. While she's quiet now, mom's still an outlaw. She's always been on my side because I also hate rules and traditions. Dad was flaring up at first, but Mom pacified him. He can't win against it after all. Okay, thanks. Let me know if anything comes up. If things get really bad, I'm ready to leave town. I can't let Keisei, Uncle Yashiro, or Mom lose face. Okay. Sis, I know what you're thinking. You're asking yourself why I have to go through this even though we're twins, aren't you? Mian was silent. That meant she asked, it isn't fair that only you have to live like this. It's absolutely not. Thanks, I appreciate your feelings. Tell me when you want to go out. I'll arrange my plans so I can transfer places with you. She sounded apologetic. I shouldn't go quiet or agree with her. She's strict to things a little too much. Once she goes down, she'll stay there for a while. So I just told her simply, thanks, that's really nice of you. Okay, I'm hanging up now. Talk to you later. Guessing this can be a Higurashi when they cry. Yeah, Higurashi when they cry. A smudged diary. Okay. Sudoku was crying while hiding behind my back. She's been crying while clinging onto me, so my back was wet with her tears and snot. Oh, this is, what's his face? Sudoku's older brother. My aunt has been screaming hysterically, but she looked tired right now. Look at his name. Satoshi. I suddenly realized that it was already past 1 in the morning. She vomited out a series of screams one last time, then she finally called it quits. Satoku seemed exhausted. She looked down in a state of shock. Even after my aunt walked away, she didn't realize that she had been freed. So I stroked her head and told her, "It's over, Satoko." Satoko's twitched. Her eyes grew bright again, and tears rolled down her cheeks. She looked up to my face. She knew it was over, but wanted to hear it directly from me. She begged me for the look. To be honest, I was really exhausted too, so I felt a little annoyed when she tried to make me say it. But I needed to pacify her, so I gently told her what she wanted to hear. She's done with her scolding, so let's go to sleep, alright? Satoku clung to me while her tears continued to fall. She was crying again silently. Satoku was shivering pitifully. Her small back reminded me that there was nobody else to protect her. Here, go brush your teeth and go make your bed and go to sleep. Chitoko smiled faintly and nodded. I felt dizzy. As I was released from the strain, a harsh drowsiness fell upon me. While Chitoko washed her face, I went to the toilet. I zoned out while watching my pee. In my dizziness, I almost missed a shot. I felt like I was being sucked into the toilet. I couldn't even remember what caused it. Why did my aunt start screaming today? Who knows? You sound exhausted, Toshi. Well, I guess that's it for this chapter. Well, Satoga probably has a lot of work, so bye bye.